Welcome. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Thank you for taking some time to join us at Open Door today. And thank you for joining us on this first Sunday of the year. I found it to be helpful spiritual practice at the end and beginning of every year is to take a moment to reflect on our callings, to reflect on our purposes, to really reflect on our lives and on our living. And in that reflection today, we're looking at a beautiful passage of scripture from Ecclesiastes, the third chapter, and we'll be looking at verses 1 through 13, and we'll be reflecting on the work that God has given us. We'll be reflecting on the subject, the work that God has given us. This passage of scripture is so beautiful that it was actually turned into a pop song, I believe, by the group The Byrds in the late 60s, early 70s. It has the distinction of actually being the oldest song, considering that this passage of scripture is thousands of years old. It is the oldest song to ever make the pop charts in the United States. Ecclesiastes in the third chapter, beginning at verse 1. For everything there is a season and a time, for every matter under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die, time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to throw away, a time to tear, and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time for war, and a time for peace. What gain have the workers from their toil? I have seen the business that God has given to everyone to be busy with. God has made everything suitable for its time. Moreover, God has put a sense of past and future in our minds. Yet we cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I know that there is nothing better for us than to be happy and enjoy ourselves as long as we live. Moreover, it is God's gift that all should eat and drink and take pleasure in their toil. Take pleasure in your work. From this reflection and other parts of Ecclesiastes, we're reflecting on seven things that God has given us to be busy with. 7 things that God has given us to be busy with. One of the first things that we want to do is, as human beings, no matter how old we get, no matter how much we've experienced, no matter how much we've learned, we want to first always maintain our sense of awe and wonder. We always want to maintain our sense of awe and wonder. During the Christmas season, one of the texts that I really enjoyed was from the Gospel of Luke, where after Jesus was born and the shepherd showed up and all the heavenly host, it says that Mary pondered these things in her heart. Mary pondered these things in her heart. It is so appropriate for us just to maintain a sense of awe and wonder, to contemplate life's mysteries, to realize that we don't have all the answers, and to just sit with them, to allow ourselves to experience wow moments as we go through life. We always want to maintain our sense of awe and wonder, no matter what it is that we're going through, just to be able to be like a child, in the sense that we can have the enthusiasm, that we can go wow, that we can have our eyes open up big, and we can just go wow. Maintain our sense of awe and wonder is one of the first things that we want to do as we come into this new season and this new year. The other thing that we want to do is we really do want to take joy in our work and in the fruit of our labor. We want to take joy in our work and in the fruit of our labor. Thirdly, we want to take joy in the company of the people we love and who love us back. There's very little that is better for us than to just enjoy the fellowship of our friends. For those who are married or partnered, there's nothing like spending time with our spouses or with our partners, with those people that we've chosen to build a life with and share a life together. Take joy in the company of those people that you love and who love you back. Another thing that's beautiful about the book of Ecclesiastes that we take from there is that it reminds us not to get too caught up or worked up over any of this, because it's all fleeting. It is all fleeting. Whatever kind of problems, whatever kind of challenges, they will all pass. Whatever joys and whatever's great, whatever's bad, it's all going to pass. We are dust and we will return to the dust. Even the greatest emperors and rulers are scarcely remembered now. Most have been forgotten, lost in the history. Let's not get too caught up or worked up over anything that's happening. We remember that it's all fleeting. For the one of the things, as the author of Ecclesiastes comes to the end of the book, the author really encourages at the end of the day, or at the end of our lives, at the end of our meeting, to revere, honor, and love God with everything that we've got. That we want to revere, honor, and love God with everything that we've got. That we want to love ourselves as beings made in the image of God. A being who has lungs that are filled with the divine breath. That we want to love ourselves as beings who are made in the image of God. And once we do that, we want to love our neighbor as ourself. And finally, brothers and sisters, siblings, we want to remember that everyone is our neighbor. If we take these 7 principles and we carry them with us into the new year and beyond, I believe that this is one of the keys, or a very important key, in our living a very, very centered and full and active life. Maintain our sense of awe and wonder as we go through life. Take time to look out into the skies. Look and see the stars. Look at the oceans. Look at the wind. Look at all the marvels and the innovations. Maintain our sense of awe and wonder. Please take joy in our work. We spend so much of our lives in the activities of working, whether it's outside of the home for income, whether it's inside of the home, whether it's in our community. We spend a lot of our efforts working, and we do want to take joy in our work and certainly enjoy the fruits of our labor. That's one of the big blessings that God has given us that we want to enjoy and appreciate. Thirdly, again, we want to take joy in the company of the people that we love and who love us back. For those who have partnered or married, we want to particularly take joy in the company of your spouse, of your mate, the person that you've chosen to build a life with. Take joy in their company. There's a lot of things that can stress us out and throw us off our game. But again, remember, don't get too caught up or worked out over anything. It's all fleeting. As they say, this too shall pass. And in the conclusion of the matter, we want to revere and honor God with everything that we've got. The end of the book, it said to fear God and keep God's commandments. And as we understand the commandments, looking through the lens of the gospel, what that means is that we love God with everything that we've got. We love ourselves as beings created in the image of God. Every single one of us is created in the image of God. And so we have to nurture ourselves. We have to love ourselves. We have to accept ourselves. And then we have to give everyone that same level of honor. We give everyone that same level of love. We give everyone that same level of respect. We give everyone that same level of care, because we love our neighbors as ourselves, and we remember that everyone is our neighbor. Peace be with you. May God bless you and keep you as we go through this new year. May God fill us with joy in all of our activities. May God give us the ability to love God, to love ourselves and love our neighbors as ourselves. Peace be with you.